All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at an absolute marvel of extreme engineering that completely redefines what humanity can build, the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge in Guizhou, China. Imagine standing on a structure suspended so incredibly high above a canyon that you are literally engineering above the clouds. We're going to break down exactly how officials and engineers conquered one of the most rugged terrains in southwest China, turning what was once a terrifying natural obstacle into a record-breaking masterpiece.
Now, picture this. For generations, getting across this canyon meant navigating incredibly dangerous, winding mountain roads. A journey that might look like a short, straight line on a map would take a grueling hour, or even 2 hours in reality. But the goal of this project was simple yet absolutely audacious. They wanted to shrink that 2-hour mountain trek into a breezy 2-minute drive. 2 minutes! It's just a massive, game-changing leap in efficiency. And to really wrap our heads around the scale of this achievement, consider its official height, 626.01 meters above the Beipan River below. Okay, over 625 meters. To put that into perspective, this structure soars into the sky higher than most of the world's tallest skyscrapers. It's a height that instantly claimed the title of the world's highest bridge the moment it opened. Just picture that immense, dizzying vertical drop. That single fact is the defining characteristic that shapes everything else we're about to discuss.
Section 1. The Earth's Crack. A monumental geographic barrier. Right, so before we can truly appreciate the bridge itself, we've got to respect the antagonist of our story. Locals actually refer to the Huajiang Canyon as the Earth's Crack. And that fits perfectly, because this isn't just some small valley. It's a massive landscape sculpted by millions of years of severe geological activity, giving us these towering cliffs and incredibly steep, unforgiving terrain. For centuries, this giant gorge acted as a profound natural barrier. It deeply isolated local communities from one another and served as a huge bottleneck for regional trade. So, beautiful natural wonder, yes, but a complete nightmare for transportation. Section 2. Designing the impossible, the ultimate engineering solution. So, how do you actually solve the problem of the Earth's crack? Well, the immense depth of the canyon completely ruled out your standard conventional bridge designs. I mean, you simply couldn't build support pillars all the way up from the canyon floor. So they had to design a colossal suspension bridge instead. As part of the S57 Luji-Anlong Expressway, this incredible structure spans a total length of 2,890 meters. But the really crazy part? It features a breathtaking main span of 1,420 meters that just hangs completely unsupported right in the middle. It supports 4 traffic lanes resting on a massive steel truss deck system. These specs didn't just meet the challenge, they entirely shattered the boundaries of what modern engineering can do in mountainous terrain.
Section 3. Conquering the clouds. Man versus nature at extreme heights. But as you can imagine, the unstoppable march of infrastructure faced a logistical nightmare here. Construction officially kicked off in January 2022. Just think about it. Every single piece of heavy equipment and material had to be dragged through that rugged mountain terrain we just talked about. But they pushed through, and by late 2023, they hit a massive milestone, completing the final main tower. And remember, these towers rose hundreds of meters just to act as anchors. Fast forward to September 2025, and the bridge officially opened to traffic. To cap the whole thing off, in April 2026, it locked in its official Guinness World Records certification as the highest bridge on Earth. Of course, hitting those exact timeline dates wasn't a walk in the park. It brings up a really terrifying question. How do you secure a bridge 625 meters in the air against violent mountain winds? Because facing extreme heights is one thing, right? But up in the clouds, powerful, unpredictable gusts sweeping through the canyon constantly threatened the workers and the colossal steel structure itself. The engineering team had to figure this out before they could even think about safely hanging those enormous suspension cables. The answer? Well, the engineers didn't just build a bridge, they literally had to invent new ways to build a bridge. They developed highly advanced wind resistance technologies and deployed hyper-sophisticated monitoring systems to ensure long-term structural safety. In fact, this project generated numerous brand new technical innovations and patents. And these weren't just one-off fixes for this specific gorge either. Officials have noted that the multiple technological breakthroughs achieved here, fighting off those unpredictable mountain gusts over the Beipan River, have actually gone on to influence bridge construction standards across all of China. It's a real game changer. Okay, so once the tech was in place, it came down to execution and verification. Step 1 was finishing up those massive anchor towers and getting the cable installation done. Step 2 was assembling the heavy steel truss deck segment by painstaking segment right over the dizzying drop of the gorge. But imagine the sheer suspense of Step 3, a 5-day heavy truck simultaneous load test. Before anyone from the public was allowed to drive on it, engineers loaded dozens of fully loaded, heavy trucks onto the bridge at the exact same time for 5 straight days. They were carefully monitoring every single millimeter of the structure's performance to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it could withstand immense stress and severe environmental conditions.
Section 4. Transforming the region, life above the clouds. With those grueling load tests passed with flying colors, the project was a resounding success. What's really fascinating here is that the planners fully realized they had created something with massive global appeal. They didn't just build a road, they built a sky-high destination. They went ahead and outfitted the site with high-speed elevators, scenic viewpoints, observation platforms, and, if you're brave enough, even glass walkways for tourists wanting to stare straight down into the Earth's crack. This has completely transformed a once isolated region into a booming tourist hotspot, shining an international spotlight on Guizhou province. But beyond the tourism, and honestly more importantly, it fundamentally alters daily life by improving access to healthcare and education and providing vastly faster transport routes for local businesses.
The core of why this all matters is summarized perfectly in this quote. What once a significant geographic barrier has become a gateway for economic development and regional integration. You see, the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge isn't just about breaking Guinness World Records or showing off fancy steel and cables. At the end of the day, it's about fundamentally improving the daily lives of the people living there, expanding local opportunities, and bringing a community that was previously disconnected into the broader economic fold.
As we wrap up this explainer, we're left looking at a structure that stands as a true defining symbol of 21st century engineering excellence. It completely proves that our ability to overcome massive natural obstacles just continues to expand. So I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. With the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge successfully conquering the clouds, what once impossible natural barrier will humanity build across next?